Let's talk about something we don't hear enough, and possibly when we see people that behave in a certain way or they apply such, most people might say you are behaving as if you are too holy or you do too much and over sabi. People have different names and whatsoever thing they call those particular set of people when they see them behave in a certain manner. So as a young person, especially a child of God growing, you know, as a single person and even as a married person, setting boundaries is not selfish. It is actually wise, it is biblical, and honestly, it is necessary. It is necessary for you as a young person, as a child of God, as a single person, as a married person, any category, or any group you fall into. It is actually necessary for you to set boundaries. So today we're going to be diving into the benefits of setting boundaries. We're going to be talking about the benefit of setting boundaries. So, why set boundaries? I want you to think of boundaries as a fence that is built around a garden, and not to keep life out, but to protect what is inside. Look at what the Bible made us to understand in Proverbs. I like this scripture so much. The Bible made us to understand that we should keep our hearts with all diligence. Out of it are the issues of life. Some other translation will say that you should guard your heart with all diligence, because out of it flows, out of your heart, a lot of things are, everything flows from the heart, everything flows from your mind. Mind you, I want you to know that your time, your peace, your energy, and what have you, they are precious. And not everything or everyone deserves unlimited access to them. Yes, you need to know that. You don't have to entertain toxic relationship, toxic friendship, and constant people pleasing. Whenever you say no, you begin to feel guilty. No, you don't have to entertain all those things. Look at Jesus. Even Jesus had inner circle. Jesus, when it is time for him to go and pray, he goes to pray. When it is time for him to speak to the people, Jesus Christ goes to speak to the people. When he comes inside, he's with his disciples. He had people that were close to him. Not everybody was close to Jesus. Not everybody was close to him. Even among the disciples, there is always one disciple that was always leaning at the master's bosom. So I want you to know that setting boundaries does not mean that you are weak. Setting boundaries does not mean that you are vulnerable. No, it's actually for your own protection. It protects you from a lot of things. It is okay for you to say that I don't like this, I'm not comfortable with this. It's also okay for you to say that I can't go with you. Sometimes most people get into trouble because they neglect, maybe they are not okay with something. You see them, they are there, their mind is like telling them to leave a certain place, but they are still there. But though they are feeling uncomfortable and they just want to leave, but they neglect that feeling and they still stay back there, and something negative happens, they will begin to say, hey, I know my mind was telling me this thing before. So I want you to know that it is okay for you to say, I don't like it. You are not wrong. If you say no to something, you are not wrong. You don't begin to feel guilty. Most times, I feel why many people get into trouble is because they don't want people to see them as being wicked, or they don't want people to see them somehow. And in the bid of wanting to please other people, they most times sin against God. They most times, after doing whatever thing they want, they begin to feel guilty. Their conscience will begin to condemn them. So I want you to know that it is okay for you to stand. It is okay for you to stand out, to stand strong, to stand firm, and not to be a person that is constantly pleasing everybody. Because I want you to know that when you are pleasing everybody, I want to put it to you that you might actually not be doing God's will, you might actually not be pleasing God, because sometimes the things that people will tell you to do are against God's will. So the first person that, or the first thing that you should guide is your mind, your relationship with God. Setting boundaries help you to setting boundaries helps so that people will not cross into where they are not supposed to cross. Just to know that some things might not be sinful, but they are not necessary. Bible must understand I have right to do anything, but they are not, King James will say they are not expedient, they are not necessary, they are not helpful. So you know that sometimes some things cannot be outright, some things might not be sinful, but you looking at this thing, is it necessary? Is it necessary for me to do this? What would this thing add to my life? So it is not everything that you engage yourself into, especially when that this thing is not going to benefit you, it's not going to add anything to your life, it's not going to make you, it's not going to do anything for you at all. So there's some things you don't really engage in. Setting boundaries with social media is also very vital, because most people, what eats their time is, or what takes their time is social media. They stay there, they scroll and scroll and scroll, watching one reel to another, and just there whiling away their time when they're supposed to do necessary things. I'm not saying that using social media is bad, but what I'm saying is that you should have a limit, you should have a time. You can tell yourself, once it's so and so time, I'm going to stay away from social media. Once it's so and so time, I'm not going to take any calls. Once it's so and so time, telling yourself what to do. And if you constantly build this habit, you are guiding your spirit, you are guiding your mind, because sometimes the things you see in social media can cripple your mind. Sometimes the things you see or the things you engage into can make it so hard for you to be able to, if you want to pray, you look as if you are climbing a huge mountain. So sometimes you just cut off unnecessary things that will weigh down your spirit, or that will bring discouragement to your mind, or that will make you to begin to see things the way you're not supposed to see. So I want to know that setting boundaries, even in the things you consume, the things you put inside, the things you feed your eyes with, the things you feed your ears with, is essential as a child of God. Distraction will try to pull you away from where you're heading to, whether in your career, whether in your destiny, what have you. But setting boundaries says, I know where I'm going to, and I'm not just going to allow anything or anyone to derail me, to confuse me, to frustrate me, or to make me begin to see outside what God has already ordained for me. So setting boundaries helps in you being able to arrive well at your destination, whether in your career, in your spiritual life, in your calling, and what have you might think of. What I want you to know is that the Lord, God, cares about how you guard your life. Boundaries don't push people away from you, rather it brings the right set of people closer, the right things closer, and trust me, they will respect your boundaries, they will respect your decisions, they will respect whatever thing you want, or whatever way you want to live your life, they will respect it. Trust. But the wrong set of people will be revealed by your boundaries, because the worst people will always be questioning, why are you doing this? Why? And sometimes they just say things that want to make you come, or that want to make you throw away your boundary, or break every fence or every walls that you have built. So the right set of people will definitely respect your boundaries. Don't be afraid to stand firm in Christ. Honor God, set your boundaries, because as a child of God, you cannot successfully get to the end of your journey, end of the journey in your Christian walk, or even in your academics, if there is no boundary, if you don't have any boundaries. So set your boundary and honor God with your body, your heart, because God is interested with every part of you, not just your heart. He's interested in your body. Remember, our body is the temple of the Most High God, and God is interested. So some people may ask, what is the difference? Is there a difference between being principled and setting boundaries? How does it relate? Are being principled and setting boundaries relate? Because they are not quite the same, but both of them goes hand in hand. Being principled simply means you live your life by God's truth, believing what is right and you do them, and what is wrong, you know them and you don't do what is wrong. You are just basically living your life based on your conviction from God and all that. By setting boundaries, we make you understand how to apply those principles in your daily decision. For example, principle is I value my peace. Then your boundary should be you will not engage in anything that is toxic. You will not engage in gossip. You will not engage in things that will affect your peace. So that's it. Being principle is the why. Why setting boundaries is how to achieve that, how to stand firm on your principles. So I want you to know that as a child of God, or I want you to know that as an individual, being principled is not enough. You also need to be a person that has boundaries, and boundaries is not people that comes around you will be able to know that okay, in this aspect of person's life, you don't bring this. They know what to say to you, they know what to bring to you, and you yourself, you know what to allow into your life, you know what to feed your eyes with, all this. You tell yourself, okay, a principled person will say, I want to be pure. But someone that set boundaries, how do I achieve being pure? By not engaging in immoral thoughts or discussions, things that will pollute all that is against your principles. So I want you to know that both of them goes hand in hand. And I really want to encourage you to be a person that set boundaries, because boundaries actually pays off. To even put yourself in a situation where you cannot overcome sin. Many people know that they have problem with maybe immorality, but you see that because they don't have boundaries of where to go to or what to feed their eyes with, you see them, they fall like a pack of cards. So I really want you to know that boundary really helps, not just in your Christian life. Let people come around you, let them know that in this aspect of my life, you don't introduce this. This is what I allow. This is what I want. This is what So don't just be a person that anything goes for. As a Christian, everything is not supposed to go for you. Yes, as a Christian, you should know what you are to engage with, what you are to interact with, what you have to fellowship with. So if everything in the world is going for you as a Christian, there is a problem. So I want you to be a person that set boundaries. If this video really encourages you to be a person that set boundaries, I want you to leave it at the comment section, and you can tell me your opinion about being. You can tell me your opinion about setting boundaries, how it has helped you, and so that other people will also learn from it. Thank you, and see you next time.